everybody. I don't know if you're on live yet, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm here. And tonight we are working on the Live Well Live Strong quilt behind me, and this quilt is the last quilt block of the Live Well Live Strong quilt. So what's really exciting about this is we've been working on this quilt for 26 weeks, and this is actually the 26th week, and it's been 6 months that we've been working on this together. And what's really fun about this is that, we've got a quilt top, and there's many of you that do. There are some that actually have a couple more blocks to make and a couple more things to do, but you guys are working on it, and it's awesome. So this is the quilt that we're working on that's right behind me. And let me just make sure I had a couple of these settings. It looks like all the settings are working. Let me see. Hi, Vicki. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Let me make sure I can see all the comments of everybody and everything like that. I'm going to put a pair of reading glasses up on my head. Hi, Luke. Did you just finish work?
Can I go over here?
Yeah, you can come on over. So we are working on this Strength Quilt Block, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So Luke just got back from work. It's a little tricky back here, huh, Luke? So come on in the camera. Here's Luke. Okay, come on down lower, Luke. See how they can't see you? Come down lower with your head. So, oh, there you are. Yeah, a little bit lower. There you are. There's Luke. He just got, here, let me show Instagram. He just got home from work. And so, but you cooked some amazing lasagna tonight, didn't you, Luke? Homemade lasagna. I mean, you guys, it's amazing. I wish I could share it with all of you. So it's really a lot of fun. So, it's too bad we don't grab like a little chair or something that you could sit with me. I wish I had a chair for you, but let's keep going, and you can go change your clothes if you want to, and then maybe try to find a little tiny chair or something. Corey can help you. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Wanda from Alabama. Hi, Sandra. Hi. Let's see, everybody. We've got Ketty. We've got everybody here. It's really a lot of fun. So I wanted to teach you guys a couple things. This is everything, all the fabrics I have laid out for the quilt, the Strength Quilt Block laid on a design board. We have this pattern is the Live Well Live Strong Quilt Pattern, and the quilt pattern is available for sale. Tonight we are making the Strength Quilt Block. So this is the final block of the sew along, which is a lot of fun because we've been working hard on this quilt. And I have. So you've got a whole bunch of worksheets for tonight. There's actually 5 worksheets to the Strength Quilt Block. If you want to make the quilt, you purchase the pattern, but there are free worksheets that kind of go along with the health and wellness aspects of the quilt itself. So, but tonight we're going back over that power worksheet and the different sources of power that you might have or empowerment to have come from. So we're talking about that your empowerment or power might come, or strength might come from hope or faith, or from organization, or from setting healthy boundaries, or from meditation. It might come from lots of different places. So this is a worksheet that you guys have had before. Hi, Mary. Hi, Liz. Hi, Delinda. Hi, Deborah. I know, Deborah, it's just amazing to think that we've come this far. On here, you're supposed to summarize your different strengths. Then, Sandra, I need to email this set of worksheets for you because there's some great ideas here. And I know that you just had your memorial for your husband this last week. And I'm just so sorry. And I wish that we could be there with you and to strengthen you. But these are some really great suggestions here. There's just some beautiful things of different things that we can find strength from. Then we went ahead and I did a summary of the quilt. So you've got all the different quilt things that are on there. Let me go ahead and move it up to the Facebook camera. And it summarizes the quilt for you. And of course you guys have seen this infographic before. You guys are more than willing to share this if you want to. And then on this page right here, these are all the different quilt topics. Let's see, Luke, let me think of something small you can sit on. Hold on for 1 second. That might be big. Hold on, let me think for 1 minute before you come over here. Because we've got the iron right there. I'm going to think of something. Oh, I know what it is. I'll grab the ladder. Just a second. Let me grab the ladder. It's right by my feet. So hold on. Let me explain these worksheets to them. So you've got fuel, leisure, mindful, and all of the different topics that this quilt has, and the strength that you can have from those different health and wellness topics. And then you are to summarize the things that you feel strong in and the things you want to grow in. So these are some great worksheets. So these are available for download. If you want to download the video, let me grab this little ladder for Luke. So just a second. He wants to sew with us tonight. So hold on, Luke. So I'm going to grab this. It's actually this little ladder he's going to sit on. It's underneath this table. So it's kind of silly. But this is an antique.
Oh my gosh, Mommy, you're so
Okay, I'm getting it, honey. I'm getting it. Okay, I'm coming back. Luke really does wants to join us tonight. Okay, so this was a ladder that my mom had when I was a little girl, and we always had it in our kitchen or wherever we went. Let me turn it this way, but let me sit down first, Luke. Luke just got his toenail removed for ingrown toenail. And he was really strong for that. Okay, so come join me, Luke. Is that a good thing to sit on? We have to think of something good because there is an iron over there. It's not going to break. It won't break. We're going to be strong, right, Luke? Okay, so those are the worksheets. So this goes into that binder, but I'm going to set this over here. Right now, what we're working on is I'm sorry, we've got thanks, Liz. Liz says hi, Luke.
Hi.
You could see different, Robin says hi, and everybody's thinking about you and saying stuff and all sorts of stuff, Luke. So, and here we can go. Here's on Instagram. There's a little bit more of Luke right there. But this is the Strength Quilt Block. You can find the instructions for this on page 19 of the quilt. In addition to the quilt, you don't have to have, but are these cutting templates. So I'm going to lay this over here, and these are the cutting templates for this quilt block. You can use the cutting templates. They come free with the pattern, or you can also use the math that's in the pattern. So I wanted to demonstrate how to cut this shape right here. So what shape would you call this? Is this a parallelogram? Do you see this shape, Luke? Oh, someone's saying hello. Say hi, Sandra. Yep.
Hi, Sandra.
Yes, people are saying hello. Lots of people. Love you, Luke. So I think this is a parallelogram. Does anybody else have another suggestion of what this shape is? But let me show you how to cut this by the instructions. Okay? And I have got my template here, though. And I'm going to go ahead and just trim this off. I'm sure I printed this right. So, this is how you figure out if you printed the template accurate. There is a 1-inch mark on the page, and there are instructions on here. Oh, Margaret, they said, ouch, that hurts, Luke, about your toe, your ingrown toenail. Yeah, that's, Liz said that. And then Margaret said, your toe must have been painful, Luke, but you hope they feel better soon. So that's really sweet, huh, Luke? Oh, you guys are so sweet. You bring so much love into our lives. Okay, so when you print this off, you print the page as fit to page, okay? So and there are instructions on the sheet of paper. But you're going to bring your ruler up, and you're going to make sure that little square block right there, any PDF pattern that you have, you want to make sure that it matches the 1-inch mark here, matches the 1 inch on your ruler, okay? So when you're dealing with PDF patterns, you don't want it to print to fit or print, I don't know what the right words are. Yo, 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 yo. Luke always says yo, yo, yo to me, and then I say yo, yo, yo back. Okay, so if you guys hear that, that's what that is. But we are here to be strong, and we've been talking about strength. So, Luke, what helped you when you had your ingrown toenail done? What helped you while you were getting your ingrown toenail done?
The numbing medicine. The
numbing medicine helped. That's right. The wonky kite. Good job, Sandra. So, Luke said the numbing medicine helped when he was getting his ingrown toenail.
I'm glad I got needle injection.
Yeah, the needle injection. Okay, so that helped. Okay, so I cut out the template right here, and I'm going to just drop this here. Let me make sure this camera is still lined up. I kind of bonked it. But now we're going to check this with this piece here, okay? Now there are actually 2 of these templates right here, so that does match, all right? There are 2 of these templates. One goes one way and one goes the other way. Yes, medications. Okay, Robin just said medications are important when you need them, right? So you needed some pain medicine to help take away the surgery when they were doing that, right? That helped Luke. Yep. So pain medications are good when you need them for strength. Now, what else helped you while you were doing the procedure? What else helped you? Okay, now here we have solid fabric. So I only need to cut out one of these. Margaret wants to know if you watched them insert the needle. Did you watch everything, Luke?
I watched a lot, yeah.
Yes, he watched everything. He really did. I'll have to put Luke here on Instagram too. Luke watched everything. Now, Luke, okay, well, just a second. So solid fabric, when you're using solid fabric, this solid fabric, it can turn either way and it becomes the same shape. If you're using printed fabric, you're going to need both of these templates. If you cut it by the way of the template, you don't have to have the templates because there is also quilty math in there. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring this to the overhead camera real fast, and I hope it's focusing on the right thing. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring this over a little bit more. Yeah, yo. Okay, let's bring this over. Oh, we got to bring my purse, some other things over. Sorry, guys. Let me bring this over a little bit more. I had it kind of right. I moved around my table top some this week because I was taking some photographs and I didn't want a photograph of everything. So let me move some of these little things over here and then I'll show you guys what we're working on. So we've got, and I've got my keyboard and my mouse over here. Yeah, there's a lot of yo-yos. Yep, you're right. Okay, so let's go to the overhead camera. That's looking a lot better. I wish we didn't have as much nutty things over here, but this is what holds everything that videotapes and everything else. Okay, so the pattern is right here. So when we go to the Strength Quilt Block, oh, very brave. Deborah said, very brave, Luke. Luke's keeping an eye on the comments for me, you guys. Thanks, you guys. So the other thing, though, that worked for you, Luke, here, let's go switch back to the front camera. The other thing that worked for you was thinking about other things. If you want to look at the ladies, look at that camera right there. So the other thing that worked with you was thinking about something different while you were getting the surgery done, right?
Yeah.
What did you think about? You thought about sports.
Yeah.
And we talked about sports with the doctor while you were having your procedure.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're going through stress and you need extra strength, if you distract your mind with healthy things, that helps. Right, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It helps. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our tutorial. Okay, so, but we'll keep Luke here. Luke's here, and he'll keep making comments. So distracting your brain with healthy things is really important. Okay, so let's go back to cutting this fabric. You guys, I hope this isn't a super long tutorial. I was wanting it to go pretty fast, but let me set this stuff over to the side. Yeah, yo. Okay, that's just something, I don't know. Luke, why do you say yo to me?
Just get your attention.
To get my attention, okay. So he says yo-yo-yos to me. I'm going to trim this fabric, okay, and I'm going to show you how to cut this, those parallelograms, the kite, the wonky kite, or whatever we want to call it. But this is pieces C and D on the pattern. So right now, the width, according to the pattern, says to cut this 4 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 inches wide. Okay, so, and let's look at that. Okay, so let me show you. So I can kind of discard this piece of fabric over here. So let's take a look, and sure enough, we have this piece right here, and it is 4 inches wide, like that. Okay, so you guys can see that that's a match. All right, so, but let's go back to this. So on the pattern, let me get this so it's in the screen. So on the pattern, you guys can see me cutting this. It says to cut it So you have to leave this a bit longer, okay? And I should bring over my iron. We're going to see how we can iron when Luke's over here with me. We'll see how good we can get. But let's go ahead and trim off that edge. So what's going to happen here is the pattern is you're going to bring this over right here, okay? So here's my long length that I just cut that's 4 inches wide. We are now going to use the 45-degree angle on our ruler. So this ruler right here.
Tell him I like the sports.
Yeah, Luke loves sports, and so he loves to distract his mind with sports. And all of us ladies, yes, oh, Liz says that you're brave. But all of us ladies, we like sewing and quilting, and we like our families and lots of other things. So we can focus on those kind of things too when we're feeling stressed, okay? We can focus on feeling, I don't know, feeling fabric, families, or talking about things. What? Your back itches. Well, you're going to have to be below the bear and scratch your back, but not in here, okay? Okay, now on this ruler, there's a 60-degree ruler, there's a 45-degree angle, and there's a 30-degree angle. We are going to use this 45-degree angle right here. And let's see here. Luke, would you give me that painter's tape that's right over there, the blue painter's tape that there's a Diet Coke in the middle of?
What?
Can you hand me that Diet Coke first? Okay. Thank you, sir. And I actually don't want that, but I want the painter's tape. I don't know where I'm going to put this. Give me that blue painter's tape. Okay, bud? Okay, Luke's, I just can't get to it. Put this Diet Coke back. I put my Diet Coke sometimes in the middle of painter's tape because I know maybe my drink won't fall off and won't, I don't know, fall on my sewing table. Okay, so just for the sake of convenience, I am going to mark this 45-degree angle. Okay, be careful with that iron, okay, Luke? Okay, so there we go. So I marked that 45-degree right there just so that you guys can see this a little bit easier. And we're talking about how to cut this parallelogram according to the pattern instructions, okay? So we're gonna, and let's go ahead and trim this off. I'm gonna use my little scrap catcher right there. And let's go ahead and trim this side off and this side off. So just for the sake of, which you could do on your own, which if your ruler does not have a 45-degree angle, remember a 45-degree angle just goes straight through those squares, okay? We're just going straight through the squares. So now we know, okay, I know this from here, that I need to start this off with a edge over here with a 45-degree angle. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to lay this ruler on here. Let me slide this underneath here. And I'm going to put my 45-degree angle on there. And that is going to give me the edge of my, and I've taken off this one piece right there. Okay. So that's my 45-degree angle. You should also have angles possibly on your cutting mat. This one does not, but a lot of cutting mats come with angles on them. Now, we are going to measure this over to 7 3/4 of an inch, okay? So between here, this point, and this point, we're going to measure 7 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to go to this 3/4 mark, and then we are actually going to cut, and sometimes it feels a little wonky. Okay, I'm going to just remember this right here. In fact, I can put a little Sharpie marker right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 3/4 is right here. Okay, guys? So I'm going to mark that. And let's go ahead and just see if this is consistent with what we have over here. That is consistent. Okay? So this is butted up right over here. I'm going to mark this at 7 3/4. And then we're going to use our 45-degree angle once again to get us where we're going to cut that. Okay, let me go ahead and move this underneath here. So we're going to cut this angle right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and line that up. And I know that's my 45-degree angle. And I'm going to just go ahead and slice that. Now, I can also, so that's how you cut it with using a ruler. But I can use this template to then be confident that I've got the right size here. So you guys can see here's the template and that matches the template. So that's how you cut out these pieces right here. These pieces are pieces C and D. And since I am using solid fabric, I only need to use one or the other. Okay, so that helps you. I hope that helps. Now, the total length, if you were to take a strip of this fabric from end to end right here, the total length of this is 11 3/4 of an inch. So from this end, oh, let me switch the camera for everyone else. From here to right here is 11 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so if you cut a strip 11 3/4 of an inch from here to here, and then cut off the angles at 45 degrees, that gives you the length of that too. So I saw some ladies doing that math, which I'll need to add that to the pattern. I just didn't think through that kind of math before, but I'll add that to the pattern for you guys for later. So, okay, so that's how you cut that. I meant to do a quick video on that. These are the worksheets that we've got right here. We are going to need to see I'm going to put these in the back here where the worksheets go. And let's go ahead and open up our book back to page 19 and back to the strength block so we can see the layout of the strength quilt block. All right. So I'm going to lay this up here. I'm going to move my painter's tape. I've got all of my squares right here done. Okay, so thanks for sharing. You guys are so sweet. You guys are awesome. So I know that this quilt block can be a little tricky, but it is definitely doable. There are no Y seams. So when you're actually sewing this quilt block, there are absolutely no Y seams at all. So let me go actually back to the original. You can see the quilt block is right back here. So there's no Y seams here because you're actually joining them, and I'll show you that in just one moment. So let's go ahead and go back to our over top seam there. So let's go ahead and take this over, and let me show you how these are then sewn and constructed. And we can start sewing our quilt together, but we'll do this in segments. And I'm going to go ahead and show you this real fast. So let's go ahead and get some. So you guys, what helps? Yes, using painter's tape does help. Using anything to help us as we're doing things, because things do get confusing. And let me go ahead and say another thing here. Let's grab that strip if I still have it. Is that another thing that you want to keep in mind is, well, we can do this with anything, is when you're laying this here, you know, it's going to take you a few minutes to get yourself to lay this down just the right way. But this is that 45-degree angle right here. So what you're doing is you're actually matching your fabric edge to the 45-degree angle. So it feels just a little bit weird, but you know, play around with it and you'll eventually get it. And because you might hit like the 30-degree, or you might hit some other angles in there, or need to turn your ruler up, down, around, however you need to do it. Just turn your ruler whichever which way and you'll get the feel for it. So, but let's go ahead and keep going. So, but it does take just a little bit of time to figure those out. Okay, so let's go ahead and start sewing our quilt blocks together. So for this segment of the quilt blocks, what we're doing is and I can grab a design board right here, but right here, all we're doing is we are stitching together. Oh, that is a larger triangle right there. Let me go ahead and get the smaller ones. So let's go ahead and let's start at the center of the quilt block real fast. So I'm going to set these things over here, and let's bring over the design board where I have all of the fabric sitting here. Okay, and we'll start sewing this together, and we'll get together some of the units of it just so that you can get a feel for what you're doing. And then it really sews together very, very quickly. You'd be surprised. So these are all the fabrics that I have cut for this, along with the pieces that are C and D. So let's go ahead and get stitching on this. Let me make sure that the camera is on the right spot as we go over to the sewing camera. So what I'm first going to do is sew these 4 pieces onto here, and you're really just building this quilt block out further and further as it goes. So that's what we're doing here. So let me go ahead and turn the camera so that you can see the sewing machine camera. right over here so you can see that. And let's maybe move this a little bit over so I can see it, sew on it a little bit better. You can see I've got my plant over here. It's still alive. That's the pin cushion plant, and I'm doing good. So right here, I'm putting these right sides together. You could also press your center block and mark where your center seam is. One thing that's important is I have given you guys room to square this down. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the center of this block, and I can see that where the fold of the fabric was. I'm going to mark where that point needs to go, and you can finger press that just like how I did that right there, and put a pin to mark that. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this at a 1/4 inch seam right here. Okay. And let's go ahead and just stitch that along. And let me pull out these extra threads. There we go. I had some long threads sitting there, but that's okay. So you guys, I am so proud of you guys that have made so much progress on your quilts. And I am so excited because I now have a whole bunch of quilt tops. And after we finish this block, we're going to spend time actually layering our quilts. And let me bring over, this is a little bit easier now that Luke's just not quite right here. I feel bad. I don't want to burn him. But we're going to go ahead and press this. Hi, Luke. See, I don't want to burn you with the iron, huh? There we go. So we've got this pressing right here. Love you too, buddy. And let me go ahead and go on the opposite side of this. So we're going to sew this now on the opposite side. I pressed that down. And I can see once again where I folded that fabric and where those points go. But you can fold your fabrics again. And you do, because I've given you a really larger tails there to go ahead and, or dog ears, I guess is the word for it. So let me go ahead and stitch this down. And we have got some prizes for people, some really big prizes for people that have got when they complete their quilt tops. And so, so we're going to have those prizes, and I will, for those that get their quilt tops pulled or finished, we'll put your name into a basket for next week when you finish your quilt tops, and it will give you a chance to win some really awesome prizes. So we've got some really, really great opportunities. Okay, so I just pressed again. Could have changed that camera. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this over again. But you're just going to build out your quilt block over and over and over as it builds this on. The reason why I wanted the Strength Quilt Block to be one of the larger quilt blocks is because I wanted to have to have it be larger, but I also wanted it to look as if it was a braided quilt, and that it just, because if you have small cords, those small cords, as they build upon each other, they actually will make a very, very strong cord. So if you think about if people are perhaps, take many smaller fibers and then make a rope or cord for a ship, it makes a rope that is almost unbreakable. And depending on what types of fibers you're using too. So I don't know about you, but sometimes for some of my long arm quilting threads, I've actually got some threads that are so strong, I cannot physically break them. I mean, I really can't. So let's go ahead and bring this over to the other camera so you guys can see this. So I'm going to just go ahead and press this out. And then once again, we're going to square this up. So as we work along, we're going to square up each segment. I want you guys to be able to easily, so let me go ahead and move this real quickly. I want you guys to be able to work on your quilt blocks and have them be squared as you work along. So one of the things I can do here, which I have this 45-degree angle once again. Whoops, I just switched that camera. But is I can have this, use the angles on my ruler. In fact, I have so many rulers. dang it. Let me go ahead and grab maybe another one. Although I've got this little ladder sitting next to me right now. So I'm going to bring this up here so that I can see that with that ruler. We're going to then put just a little bit over of a 1/4 inch on here. And we are going to square this up so it can be smaller. I'm giving you guys, because these points actually match on your quilt block. And so we actually want these to be squared up and to be smaller as we grow them. I gave you guys larger measurements because you can see as you're building these out, when you're working with building a quilt block that goes from so small to 36 inches, it's gonna get wonky as you keep sewing it and keep sewing it. So I'm measuring just slightly more than that 1/4 inch, and I'm coming along and I'm just stitching this along so that then, and over here I'll make sure I'm square by making sure one of my lines are matching up with this. And you just want to ever so slowly keep building out your blocks. Okay, so here we have a good squared one, and I'm going to grab my square ruler just because I have it right here and it's easy for me to grab. But I can grab this square ruler right here and make sure that I actually have a square that's actually going on. So I think that that's a good squared edge, and this is at 5.5 inches right here. So let's go ahead and jot that down. So 5.5 is what you're going to want that first square to be. But whatever it is you want it to be a 1/4 inch larger than your seams that what you have right here. Because triangles, as they grow and grow and grow, can just make things wonkier, wonkier, and wonkier. So you can see these are great triangles right here with this blueberry fabric. So I've got different versions of blue that I'm using in this quilt. Okay, so ladies, so Sandra, so your sister-in-law had a quilt made and had a wreath on it at the memorial. I would love to see a picture of that. Liz, you're trying to keep an orchid alive that you got for a present. You know what? I have such a hard time keeping things alive, but my daughter-in-law is actually teaching me. Now, I'm going to once again, let me see how this camera is doing over here. So let's go ahead and bring this over to the sewing machine. So I'm going to switch camera views again. And once again, I'm going to mark my center of that square. And I'm going to have a good marking line in there. But remember, this is a bias, so it's kind of stretchy. So you have to be careful as you're building this out. But you'll do just fine. Just go for it. So I know that that's centered on there. I can also tell by where these dog ears are. Okay, that these dog ears are pretty well centered on that too. I'm going to go ahead and just put a pin in this on this side, but I'm going to turn this over and I'm actually going to stitch on this side. And the reason why I'm going to stitch on this side is because I can see where that intersection is, and I'm going to want to cross through that intersection, or I'm going to want to cross just slightly above it. So what we're wanting to do is to build out, I'm sorry, I've got to get the sewing machine foot on this. We're wanting to build this out ever so slightly and have our points match. And so that's the goal, is to have our points match on these quilt blocks. Okay, so this is our little, so we're dealing with the original quilt, we're dealing with a red in the center, we're dealing with some denim fabric that then comes out, and then we're dealing with a brighter blueberry fabric. So you can see I haven't lost my point right there. All right, I just kind of go opposite direction of what I was just sewing on, and I'm going to do my next blueberry triangle right here, which this would be, I guess, the second row going around. The other sections of this Strength Quilt Block will actually be stitched in sections. Whoops, let me bring that head up a little bit. Just feel like I was a little off there. Oh, I need to turn this over. I didn't do it where I can see my block, where I can see the intersection right there. But I'm not going to worry about where that is. I'm going to just start on this other side. I mean, idealistically, I wouldn't, but I want to see this intersection, and I want to go either right through it or just above it so that you don't lose your points. this is a great sampler quilt for learning how to keep your quilts and to keep your points as you're stitching along, and to so you can see there, we can see our points right there. So let's go ahead and give this a bit of a press and press this out, and we'll go like this. So we're going to go ahead and do this block for just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to we're going to resume this video tomorrow night, if that's okay. Or what's a good time for you guys? A 3-fold corn robin is not easily broken. That's from Ecclesiastics. I like that, Robin. So yes, it is not. So a cord, as you build a cord out, and that's what I've tried to make this quilt block look like, is as if it's braided. And then when I quilted it, I tried to get that effect, but you guys might be able to help me with the quilting technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys try to get your quilt tops assembled. I'm going to help you with assembling your quilt tops after this week. So I will actually announce when we'll do the prizes and what the prizes are. I actually did that reverse again. We're going to see if my point matched. And then we're going to just sit and work on, so that looks good. I saved my point there. Let's turn it over this way so I can see this. So next time, so then for all of you guys that have your quilt tops done, I will go ahead and pull from everyone that has it from a list of 3, pull 3 winners of quilt top finishers. And all you have to do is have your quilt top finished and post a picture so that I can see it on either Facebook, in the Facebook Everyone Can Quilt group, or post your quilt top on Instagram with the hashtag Live Well Live Strong Quilt, so that I can see that too. And we've already got some people that have completed. We've got some people that are slow stitch quilting their quilt together, that are with a big stitch, hand stitch quilting. There are so many different ideas, and I cannot wait to see all of yours. Okay, so then on this quilt block right here, let me go ahead and set that aside. I'm going to switch to the over the front camera for you guys. So what I would do here is then take this and trim off my corners here. Let me find a good pair of scissors. These are a little big. At least they're heavy in my hand. But you guys, there are different things that we can do for strength. And whether we're growing a plant, we know that there's things that we need in order to sustain ourselves or to sustain a plant. A plant needs sunshine, it needs water, it needs the appropriate kind of water. It needs to have good soil. There's so many different things that just a plant needs, but there's things that we know that we need. Hi, Donna from Nova Scotia. I'm so glad you're here. So, but this is the center of this strength block. We have more to build out on this, but this actually builds out into separate units. So I'm going to have all of these 3 units completely stitched together for you. And then I will demonstrate how to stitch one of the units together so that you guys have that. And then we will add that to the center of this quilt block. And I will show you how to then add your parallelograms with the background fabric, which the background fabric for this is a blender fabric. So my background fabric is actually a blender that we're using here. So we're going to use these to make which I could show you that really fast. But I don't want us to go over an hour. So what I'm going to do is, when is a good time? Hi, Corey. Corey's watching tonight, you guys. That's too fun. But when is a good time for you guys to actually do another live? Would you guys like to do one tomorrow? Is 3 o'clock a good time? Oh, wait. No. I have to do... Luke has a doctor's appointment at 2:45. I could... how about 6 o'clock? Would 6 o'clock tomorrow night work as a good time for you guys for tomorrow night? And then we will finish the construction of the complete strength block, and I will have all of the units pre-stitched for you. But I wanted for you to be able to see how I laid these out This is definitely a space where you would want to have this laid out completely on the floor or on a design board, which I can go ahead and switch that to a design board behind me. So anyways, you guys, so does tomorrow at 3 o'clock sound good for tomorrow for another live video? And then we'll go ahead and finish doing a bit later would be better. Okay, Donna. Okay, so, oh, not 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I'm sorry. So 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So that would be about the same time that I went on live this evening. Would that work for you guys? I know for some of you guys that would be like 8 o'clock back east time. And then we can go ahead and make sure that all of this, yes, or 7 o'clock. Okay, 7 o'clock, we can do it. Yes, no, Corey, we're supposed to go someplace at 3. You're right. You're right. So let's do 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That would be 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And it would be, well, I'm not going to talk about all the different times. 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I will put a invite for all of you guys as a scheduled time to where I'll go live tomorrow. And we'll go ahead and we'll finish the Strength Quilt Block tomorrow night. I just didn't want you guys to take forever. I wanted to definitely demonstrate how to cut this parallelogram, and then, which took a little bit of time, and just kind of want to get you guys where you're going ahead. Oh, hi, Helen Ann. Yes, you can go ahead and rewatch this first one if you're just catching up. If you need the worksheets on Facebook, just say that you want the worksheets, and then it will send you a link to where the worksheets are. On Instagram, just go to my website and find the blog post for the Strength Quilt Block. And then you will find the worksheets for the Strength Quilt Block on there. So if you are watching on Instagram, on YouTube, the link will actually be in the description of the video, and I just have to correct that and make that live and viewable. So we'll go ahead and we'll finish the Strength Quilt Block, which is right behind me right here. And we'll finish that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Hi, Alma. Hi, Dolores. Hi, you guys. Hi, Vicky. At 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And I'll have all the units completely pre-sewn for you, except for just one section that will be done. But I wanted to definitely show you how careful you need to be as you're building triangles further and further out, because there is definitely a bias there that you want to work with. So, okay. So, and yes, if you want to, in the Facebook, just make comments that you need the worksheets, you'd like to see where the strength blog post is on Facebook. It will automatically send you a link to where you can get those. So anyway, so you guys, I will talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I'll be posting a few things in the meantime on there. And then we will have some big prizes that I'll announce for everyone that has their quilt tops done. And let's go ahead and do a couple prizes for tonight. Let me go ahead and pull my mouse back over here so I can read everybody. Let's see, we've got somebody on Instagram. If anyone that is on Instagram, if you could make comments so that I know that you're there, that would be fantastic. And let's go ahead. I hate picking winners. Maybe we should just do the winners tomorrow night. Is that okay? We'll do the winners tomorrow night for the Strength Quilt Block. I'll do one from Facebook and one from YouTube. And anyways, you guys, well, anyway, so let's go ahead and I'll start the list for YouTube and for Facebook and Instagram. Okay, on Instagram, we've got Shift80 and A Lot of Love. So let's go ahead and go with those two. So A Lot of Love, and I think, and then Shift80, and send me your emails of those two profiles. On YouTube, let's go ahead and pick Liz and Robin. So we've got those two right there. And on Facebook, let's go ahead and do, and guess what? I finally have like almost all my employees back. There's still some people there to go. So we've got on Facebook, let's go ahead and do for tonight. We'll have more winners tomorrow. And I'll go ahead and show you guys what you win tomorrow. Let's do Sandra Pitts, and let's do Donna Lordley. I haven't mailed anything to Nova Scotia yet. So Anyway, so that'll be fun. So send me Sandra, I have your information. We'll do additional winners for tomorrow night for the final of the quilt block for the Strength Quilt Block, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that when you're building that out, you have a good idea of how you're building it. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow night. We'll finish off the Strength Quilt Block. We demonstrated how to cut this and how to do everything else. If you want to purchase a pattern for the Live Well Live Strong Quilt, we will be starting the sew along again. You'll have a little bit of time because I'm going to help everybody try to layer their quilt tops and work on quilting their quilt tops and having a finished quilt. But then we will also be doing another version of the Live Well Live Strong Quilt where it's teeny tiny and we're paper piecing it. So it's more like a wall hanging. So if you want to, you could do it all over again. And it's just up to you and what you want to do. So we'll just kind of go from there. And I wish you guys all of my love, and I want to thank you for all the strength I've gotten. And I want to show you what someone mailed me. Robin, I hope you don't mind that I share this, but Robin mailed me this little angel of a prayer angel, and it was so sweet. I can't even tell you, I got this in the mail on Saturday, and I've just been loving this, and it has like this little baby that comes out, and all sorts of other little things, and it's just so darling. And I just have to thank her for this because I know that she made this and it's just absolutely beautiful. Isn't that just the sweetest thing? And you guys so strengthen me, and even all of the comments and how much we've grown together as we've made this quilt together with all the different quilt block topics. And you guys have really strengthened me and made me a stronger person. And I just want to thank you for joining in on this sew along. We will finish the strength block tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we'll see you a little bit later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.